through the plate window. That all-revealing, even-toned East Bay light, keen and forgiving, always ready to tell you the truth about a record's condition. Though Nat Jaffe claimed it was not the light, but the window, a big solid plate of Pittsburgh glass vaccinated against all forms of bullshit during the period of 60-odd years when the space currently housing Brooklyn Records had been known as Spencer's Barbershop. Archie swayed, eyes closed, grooving on the heft of the baby, on the smell of grease coming off Ringo Thielman's bass line, on the memory of the upraised eyes of Elsabet Getachew as she gave him head yesterday in the private dining room of the Queen of Sheba Ethiopian restaurant, recollecting the catenary arch of her lip, the tip of her tongue going Addis Ababa along the E string of his dick, swaying, grooving, feeling on that Saturday morning just before the boots of the neighborhood tracked bad news through his front door like he could carry on that way all day, forever. "Poor Bob Ben Ezra," Archie said to the random baby. "I did not know him, but I feel sorry for him, leaving all these beautiful records. That's how come I have to be an atheist. Right there, Rolando. Seeing all this fine vinyl the poor man had to leave behind." The baby not too young to start knowing the ledge, the cold truth, the life and death facts of it all. What kind of heaven is that? You can't have your records? The baby, understanding perhaps that it was purely rhetorical, made no attempt to answer this question. Nat Jaffe showed up for work under a cloud, like he did maybe 5 times out of 11, or, be generous, call it 4 out of every 9. His bad mood, a space helmet lowered over his head. Poor Nat trapped inside with no way to know whether the atmosphere was breathable, no gauge to tell him when his air supply would run out. He rolled back the deadbolt, keys banging against door, working one-handed himself, because of a crate of records he had crooked up under his left arm. Nat bulled in with his head down, humming low to himself, humming the interesting chord changes of an otherwise lame-ass contemporary pop song, humming an angry letter to the slovenly landlord of the nail salon 2 blocks up, or to the editor of the Oakland Tribune whose letters page his anger often adorned, humming the first fragments of a new theory of the interrelationship between the bossa nova and the nouvelle vague, humming even when he wasn't making a sound, even when he was asleep. Some wire deep in the bones of Nathaniel Jaffe, always resounding. He closed the door, locked it from the inside, set the crate on the counter, and hung his gray-on-charcoal pinstripe fedora from one of 9 double-branched steel hooks that also dated from the days of Spencer's Barbershop. He ran a finger through his dark hair, kinked tighter than Archie's, thinning at the hairline. He turned, straightening his necktie, hepcat wide, black with silver flecks, taking note of the state of Box 8, working his head around on the neck joints a few times as if in that creak of bones and tension lay hope of release from whatever was causing him to hum. He walked to the back of the store and disappeared through the beaded curtain, laboriously painted by Nat's son, Julie, with the image of Miles Davis done up as a Mexican saint, St. Miles's suffering heart exposed, tangled with a razor wire of thorns. Not a perfect likeness, to be sure, looking to Archie more like Mookie Wilson, but it could not be easy to paint a portrait of somebody across 1,000 half-inch beads, and few besides Julius Jaffe would ever contemplate doing it, let alone give it a try. A minute later, Archie heard the toilet flush, followed by a spasm of angry coughing, and then Julie's father came back out to the front of the store, ready to burn another day. "Whose baby is that?" he said. "What baby?" said Archie. Nat unbolted the front door and spun the sign to inform the world that Brooklyn was open for business. He gave his skull another tour of the top of his spinal column, hummed some more, coughed again, turned to his partner, looking almost radiant with malice. "We're totally fucked," he said. "Statistically, that's indeed likely," Archie said. "In this case, how so?" "I just came from Singletary." Their landlord, Mr.